What's up, everybody? My name is Steven Sanchez, and I am finally doing a little voiceover work for the Wily Cat piece here. So I just want to have a little fun here and just kind of just mull around and talk artwork, and that way, hopefully, you guys can gather your art equipment and just sit around the campfire and draw your own stuff, and then submit it to nowhere, because no one's gonna see. No, I'm just kidding. What I want to do is actually just going in with Copic markers and just mixing everything in and having fun with it. And I just want to kind of reminisce a little bit about jumping in real quick, because I know a lot of y'all are just either new to this, you're kind of coming across and just seeing this for the first time, and you're like, you don't know who the heck I am. My name is Steven Sanchez. I am an illustrator. And for those who already know me, you guys get back to work. so this way you guys can all have a roundabout feel of who I am and what I do, and that's what this is all about right here. So we're rocking this piece out with Copics, and I'm just gonna jump in and just start kind of talking about the process and what exactly led me into the world of Copics, because it was such a fun adventure in learning how to not only to use markers, which I did learn how to use somewhat in 2006, but I wanted to kind of reiterate as to how I got into Copic markers, because they're refillable, okay, and then two is, like, not only is it refillable, but you can buy the pieces, like the nibs, and you can just build your own marker, and if you want, you can actually build your own colors as well. So all those things were like massive selling points for me when I first got into Copics, like in 2014, which led me to jump off of Prismacolor markers. Not to say that they're not good, but they're not refillable for me. So I try to refill them with other things that I messed around with, but trust me, it was a disaster. So don't even bother with it. The little tips and tricks that I learned from YouTube, other YouTube creators, were to put alcohol, like 90% proof alcohol in there, and just kind of, it'll just help get the last bit of that marker out. And it did, but somebody chimed in and said, you might want to look into Copic markers, and that's when my life changed. It was delicious. So after that, I started investing money into markers a little bit more fluently, and next thing you know, I just got into it and started making something out of it. Now, excuse me. What I wanted to talk about was, for those who can't afford these markers, and I tend to say this on my live videos, is try to use the color pencils. And if you use color pencils with these markers, you're gonna be amazed, of what you can pull out from your pieces themselves just with the markers alone. Then jump in and then blend it. That's pretty much the name of this game, is just to blend these markers with color pencils. They don't have to be anything specific name brand, but if you're into like getting like Prismacolors, or you can use Crayola, but I wouldn't advise it, because the Crayola markers, they're not really meant for this kind of like tough play, just to call it that. But you want to just kind of utilize Faber-Castell actually work very well. I can use those, and Rose Art for the most part. Rose Art for me, it's kind of like a notch above Crayola, but it did do the job. So I had a variation of mixes in there. So I wanted to make sure that all of that stuff kind of mixed in very well. And I did do my tests a while back, so they do mix very well with those like Rose Art and Faber-Castell. But you kind of want to play around with the big boy stuff, the Caran d'Ache, the Prismacolor color pencils. Those pencils are just simply amazing. Look into investing into just a couple of color pencils. That way you can They can be a little expensive, but if you use coupons, it'll go a long way. So you might want to do that. After the mixing and the blending and all that good stuff, what we can do is actually get into the blending of the markers themselves. You don't have to buy the entire set of Copics. I know it seems like you do, but you don't have to. Just keep in mind that all you have to do is buy the tonal values that you're looking for. So if you're looking for earth values, you're looking for the primary colors, all of those things. They do sell them in separate packs, or you can buy a separate set. If you're willing to drop $70 to $80, depending on where you purchase it from, you can actually use that to your advantage and just kind of mix it in with the color pencils, and then just you increase your color palette that way you don't have to purchase so many markers. You can purchase them all. I do have them all, but it's for me, it's one of those things where it's like, man, it's just not needed. These are expensive, especially if you buy the entire set all at once, but I had to buy them little by little, so I did sparse it out financially. But when it comes to the entire set, no, you don't need the entire set. Just get what you like to mess with first and build from there. And that's exactly what all of this is me trying to show you, is just using the warm and the cool values and some of the neutrals and some of the tonal values all together to just combine to make something worthwhile that you can actually look at and be like, I can get away with this. Slowly build something. And if I like to sell the artwork, then you can sell the artwork and purchase more markers or refills. That's the kind of the whole point of this whole game, is to kind of get into that refill game, because once you purchase those markers, you really gotta keep them going afterwards. Yeah, and then of course get a couple of nibs, because you never know. After so many uses of one marker, I tend to destroy my grade tones, or my cool grays. I tend to destroy them pretty good. So let's talk a little bit about some of the craziness I've gone through back in the days when messing around with markers. It was one of those things where you needed to learn from your mistakes, and that's exactly how I see it. It's like, I can give you guys advice, but if you don't go ahead and experiment and learn from your own mistakes, you're not really going to appreciate it. So it's okay for you not to listen to what I'm giving out there. Get in there, have fun with it, push yourself, see what you can do with it, and experiment. Because it's not really so much me saying, oh, don't do this with this marker, don't do this with that marker. You need to start learning how to kind of fend for yourself, because people telling you how to color and do things, it's in the long run, it's not really that valuable unless you actually understand what somebody's telling you. So for me, it's like, I'll give you the hints, but I would recommend kind of screwing up a little bit so you can understand and get a hold of that feeling of what it all means to take that advice as a valuable advice for future, because that way you can actually start making sense out of all of it, and it's pretty much in general for life, but for the most part in art, it's like, yes, you gotta experiment, and make sure you have a lot of fun with the experimentation process. Let's see, working on backgrounds, to add a little bit of oomph to the piece, you can slowly add background elements, or you can actually outline the actual piece itself as a technique. It doesn't have to be like a super sharp look, but it gives it a nice little roundabout feel to the piece, so it all kind of blends in together to just solidify the piece as this one whole unit. And I like to just throw those colors down and just get that feeling in there, to just kind of just connect everything as one. So for me, connecting it all is just kind of adding that rim around the entire piece, so it kind of gives it a nice little border to it, and it does help out the piece to maximize it. All right, we're gonna end this here, and I want to thank everybody who has been watching, whether it be this video or other videos. And I want to just make sure I give a quick shout out to otakufuel.com. Check out otakufuel.com. Use my promo code SANART, SANART, to save percentage at checkout, and that's gonna help you guys start your journey into getting your supplies, because that way you can just build upon it, save at checkout, whether you're getting it through Otaku Fuel or if you're going to Michael's in the United States. Then you guys can just be smart about using your finances to pick up the supplies that you absolutely need and work using it to get to where you need to be with your pieces in the beginning. Okay, so that way you don't just start blowing money buying tons of, you know, weird equipment in the beginning and not really getting what you think you're gonna get out of it. So I can save you that headache. So start off with nice gray tones, warm tone Copics if you're trying to get into Copics. Do pieces like this one right here, the little two-tone pieces. That way you can maximize your finances in the beginning. If your stuff is looking fun and out there and you feel like you're ready to sell it, then get into that point of selling your stuff and building your equipment. So once again, thanks a lot for watching. Stay tuned for the next one. Hopefully you enjoyed this and got some info out of it.